everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the TB&J podcast. Across from me is D.
That's me.
Yeah.
And you're Jeff Ackerman.
I sure am. And if you can't read, we're doing episode 6 of House of the Dragon.
You're welcome.
The Game of Thrones prequel. So without further ado, TB&J! TB&J! Got all sweaty and nervous there for a second. Like, ooh, it's like my first time all over again. Ooh.
I have that effect.
You do look very handsome today, D.
Do I?
You do.
Interesting.
In an audio-only format, I hope you all really
Well,
appreciate exactly
you're-
how handsome this man
You're all
is.
welcome.
Yeah.
Do I look as handsome as Damon Targaryen?
Oh, speaking of Damon, so if you're new here, we do things a little differently. So we give every episode usually a thumbs up or a thumbs down because based on the rules of the internet, things are either good or bad. There are no gray areas. There is no room for debate. It is either do you like it or do you hate it. So D, do you like it?
I like it. It's a thumbs up.
It's a thumbs up, is it, huh?
What about you?
Mine is also a big old thumbs up.
Yeah.
This show, I've seen a lot of memes out there of like the end of Game of Thrones, and then it's like some guy and it's just like, I think it was the episode 3 meme of Obi-Wan and Anakin. It was like, you were the chosen one, like all that.
Yeah.
And then it's like me on House of the Dragons, and then it's like Dolly Parton, and she's like, I think I'm ready to love and be heard again, something like that.
Wow, great analogy. I think we lost half the audience in that one. I
Yeah,
don't know
probably.
what that means.
It's fine. I
But I like Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton's great. I stand by my opinion of I go into every episode of this show very, very hesitantly because I'm always afraid they're going to fuck things up royally and it's going to take a stupid left turn and it's going to make me check out.
Royally.
Yeah, get it? And there's just going to be like a huge bullshit thing happen. Like the fucking... It's so small, but like I do not like the title sequence with like the blood flowing and
No,
stuff.
that's going to change. We've talked about this.
I don't know. I hope it does.
I do. I'll see what happens. You know,
I
we'll
like
see
your
what happens.
prediction. I hope it comes true.
I hope all this turns into a map at some point in the blood.
Especially since people are splitting up, because in this episode we have Rhaenyra getting fed up with King's Landing, and she just says toodles and runs away to Dragonstone
right
with her husband. What's his name? Vagar? Something like
the dragon.
No, her husband. Vagar's the dragon. Her husband is
Laenor.
Laenor, I think.
So yeah,
Most people have funny names.
there's the time jump in this. I mean, I want to get into it, but I want to remind us that we also owe a letter grade at episode
We
6
do.
here.
We do. Do you want to do that now or at the end?
Oh, I think at the end.
Yeah, there we go.
Keep you in suspense. So every 3 episodes, we'll give it a couple of. I think I was teetering, but I think I gave it like B+ or A- something.
I think it was around there, yeah.
I think I gave it like an A-, but really meant B+, and like.
I think I was like a solid B, I think.
And but I would say it's higher for these 3.
Mm-hmm.
Because generally I do think it's getting better and better.
It is getting better and better. And I want to address that you pointed out I gave this a lower grade than I gave to the She-Hulk show we were covering.
Right.
And you were very, very offended personally by that, which understandable because this is clearly a much better show. However, this show comes with a lot of baggage in that it is a prequel, whereas She-Hulk is something completely new and fresh, and I had no expectations going into that.
Right.
Other than that Daredevil would show up at some point. So I think that might be part of it. I go into each episode with that anxiety of, are they going to hurt me again? Is Big Bad HBO going to take a shit in my mouth again?
Yeah.
And so far, so good.
No, I think we're going to see some crazy shit. Because, like, so for me, it's that this series, and I hope we go through it, like, scene by scene, because this is essentially like a new pilot.
It is, yeah.
And I think they really did that well because I really see what they're doing, and it feels like all this stuff is coming together, and it makes sense to me why these time jumps are so pivotal. And I have to admit, I looked a little teensy bit into Song of Wiki of Fire.
Yeah.
Just the teensiest bit, just to see kind of like, okay, and it's so complicated. all the people with the same
yeah.
names. So I still don't even like fully grasp all this stuff, but I kind of see some of the. I'm like, okay, but I don't know any of how they're gonna do it. But it does seem like, I mean, are they not setting up this situation now to be Rhaenyra is at Dragonstone with her fake husband and
her illegitimate children,
and her bastard children, and she's gonna so she's trying to get them on the throne, right? Like that's the gonna be the progression, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
And then you get Daemon, who's now recently calm Daemon.
Yeah, he's pretty chill.
Mature Daemon, but
he took a vacation.
Maybe like
out.
mildly seething underneath Daemon.
Yeah,
like the dragon.
Well, he has that conversation with his wife, Lady Lena, who we last saw as like a tiny child, and now she's.
Well, she was a little older at the wedding.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
She was you kind of saw like a little flirtation with Daemon.
Right. They had the whole dance number. Yeah. So they've married and had a few children. It looks like all daughters. Which I'm sure Damon's just super happy with.
Well, yeah. I mean, like it's what it is. What it is. But I think but at least he's kind of halfway. I mean, it seems like they're his. I guess. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't imagine they're anybody else's.
So it seems like he's gotten over whatever impetus.
Because I think one or two of them have dragons.
Kind of a Oh yeah, she has Vhagar, the oldest living dragon.
Yeah, so Vhagar went to Lady Lena, but then one of the daughters was trying to hatch an egg that she was given when she was born.
Yeah, so I think that's some foreshadowing.
Yeah. Although
somebody's got to get that dragon now.
Although Lady Lena said that half the eggs never hatch,
and the other half get like they find a new rider like Vhagar.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Because Vhagar was King Viserys.
So I'm gonna see that.
Yep.
Come into play. But here's the thing. I want to get into all that because there's just a lot. Like, I mean, what I love about these shows is the subtext and the larger meta stories kind of going on and the themes that they're
all the little stuff going on too. So the show opens with Rhaenyra giving birth to now her third child. The first one was her son Jacaerys, and then she had the son whose name I definitely have right here.
Luke or something like that.
Luke, yeah, but it's short for like something.
Lucerys
and Jacaerys, and then the third kid, which was unnamed,
is now.
But
Joffrey.
now he's Joffrey, which Lord Valar. We just said his name. Laenor, thank you. Named after his dead boyfriend from the previous episode, which I thought was hilarious.
So, okay. So let's just start with this opening thing because it's a oneer, kind of. They shoot the opening scene as a oneer, the whole birth, and then the whole kind of scene. They might kind of cut with a pan over to the one lady.
Yeah, stepping off the umbilical cord,
and then that kind of stuff, and there's all these subtleties in it, but it's all played kind of a oneer. Then they do the walk through all the way through to the place, but like. I want to just clarify, like the opening is a pretty tame birth, I'd say.
I mean, from what we've grown to expect of Targaryen births.
Yeah. So what I'm just saying that, like, I'm glad they kind of just spent the time on it and, like, portrayed it as best, I think that was pretty accurate. And they did it in a way that was just intense, right? And I think I just want to remind everybody that like births are horrific. They're literal.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Everything's horrible.
Being in the delivery room is never a good time.
Bad. It can be really bad before it ever gets better. So that's okay. I'm just saying.
For those of you who don't know, Dee has a child. Yeah. I do not. I'm just gonna agree.
I just always want to bring that up because some people won't tell you that shit. Just like no, it's gonna be horrible.
It's gonna be
like,
real horrible.
You know how like you ever watch a horror movie? Like imagine you were in the horror movie for a while and you're like fuck, how is this fucking happening? Like that's what you're. That's and
birth.
then it's over and you're like, you know how like you can't imagine that there's a Nightmare on Elm Street 2? You're like, what do you mean you guys don't remember? It's like this is no, you guys don't remember? Like, yeah, how's the baby? Like, yeah, it was horrifying. Okay. Don't you? Okay.
No, you definitely have a good point there.
Anywho, so yeah, and this just makes it really works.
As soon as the baby's born, Yeah, so and as soon as the baby's born, the fucking maid comes in and says the queen has requested to see the child. And I'm just like, well, that's fucking awful. And then she doesn't give them the baby. She fucking walks the baby there herself.
Yeah.
And then we see when she's leaving, there's like a trail of blood that she's leaving behind because she's clearly not super well.
So she's, I love how they they let the story unravel naturally. They never spell out what's kind of going on, but you can kind of pick up. You're like, oh, okay. Like since then, since the green dress, the wedding, she's been
100% on board that Aegon, the firstborn son of the king, needs to go on the throne.
The power is totally shifted here, and it's seemingly very different, right? So like on one hand, right, on one hand, she's just like from what we know and from her point of view, Alicent, this Rhaenyra, who'd like fucked the King's Guard, kill this other dude, now has 3 bastard children that she's passing off as the heirs over her children, who are like at least legitimate in Targaryen, knowing this. So you're like, oh fuck, that really, like, you see it from there. But in the meantime, Rhaenyra is in this situation of like, well, she's pretty tame for what she wanted, right? And she is just kind of, again, still just getting what she wants, even though she is portrayed as immediately in the sympathetic role. And like, and it's clear by the end of this that like she's Alicent's compromised. Like, so it's one of those things. This is such I think a really well done plot of like, she's fucking wrong here. Like, she's like, at no point is she fucking wrong in like following like what's supposed to fucking happen, and everyone's just supposed to be like, no, okay, the rules don't apply here. Like,
no,
and
she just has, she never grew up really. So, she's still acting like the teenager who's like, I'm gonna stay married to the gay man and still fuck whoever I want behind the scenes, and that's gonna be my life.
And like, what's the rule here? Like, everybody is control, but like it's the third kid.
Yeah.
The third kid, not one. That's why it's the walk up immediate. Like, is this one? Can we count at least one of your fucking kids being like your actual, like the actual line?
Yep. And we get that like, after she hands the kid back, and she's really, like, well, maybe one of them will look like you.
And like, this is what Laena doesn't get is that like, it's just snubbed to his entire, like, his father's line, like, his lines gets snubbed out of the whole point of it in actuality. They're, like, supposedly his kid, and it's just, and it's not going to last. So, like, you know, and then, you know, by the end of this, Alicent is, like, completely compromised and wrong in doing what she's doing. She wants partiality over what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
No one is caring about or saying anything about what's going on, except, you know, fucking at this point, it's so fucking written on the wall that the Strongs are fucking like, we gotta leave.
Yeah.
Like, holy fuck. So
he resigns his hand or tries to, and then just says, I'm gonna go take my son, the Philanderer, and we're gonna go back to Harrenhal, and he's just gonna chill there because he clearly can't be commander of the City Watch anymore. He's gone.
Yeah,
he got fired after beating up Kristen Cole
because of this thing, and Kristen Cole being like, and then Kristen Cole essentially has the similar argument, because if you look at it from, I know people hate Kristen Cole, like, and I get the entire like vibe he's given off at this point, like he's complete incel, like, oh fuck women, like this is what they're kind of going for, but like you like Alicent, like why they're so in line is because, and there's no way this is just felt like sound like defending the thing, but I think they told the story well to be like, no matter what he does after, because a lot of people point out that like when he has the conversation, he's like, let's leave everything and go to Essos, like, and they're thinking of that like, oh, you're just asking her to leave like her entire life, like who are you to fucking ask her that, like you, like you should have read in like. what does she owe you? You know, what does she owe you? And I'm like, fair, except the fact that like it's the queen, and like he's clearly at a conflict of interest in terms of his vows that she puts him in by even like judging this. Like, is it commanded? Is it not? Like, what happens if he says no?
Yeah.
Is he like? So it's a horrible position for her to put him in, and she's literally the one with the power here.
Yep.
So it literally
Yep.
is this like corruption that she's continuing to do by literally not having a single heir. And they've shown from the beginning that Rhaenyra is just ignorant to like the effects that she's having on the people around her, and that I think is where they are justified. And I think they also paint the picture immediately of sympathy to that end. Like they just tell you, like they show you her like get this bitch move of saying that, but like fucking hey, it's the third one. Like like I need to say is that like is anybody gonna do anything about this? Like make a scene about it. What else can she do?
It's very, very strange. But there is like a small detail in this scene that I didn't notice on first watch. But if you notice when the king walks over to look at his grandson, his whole left arm is gone.
Yeah.
It's gone up to the shoulder. He has no fucking left arm left.
Well, but let's put it out this way though. I'm also surprised that he's alive.
Yeah.
In the first place.
Yeah.
So, and you know that there's a new maester. There's a new maester. It's the guy who was saying like, "Hey, shouldn't we do this?" The guy's like, "Nah, we should always do the worms." Like, and then obviously that guy was on his way out, and this guy took over, and he maybe got some better health to him.
Yeah.
And maybe, but not before losing an arm.
The more I think about it, the more I think you're definitely onto something with the maesters having some weird like underplot here.
At least some of them, but I
don't think anything like that got written into the books ever. I think it's like maybe implied, but never like explicitly mentioned.
I think that's kind of the point. I mean, whatever. There's like a whole storyline in the books that has some kooky maester at the Citadel who's kind of a black sheep. Of their group.
Okay.
And his like specialty is actually magic, but like they kind of look down on all of, like, so you know they all have special. It's just like a whole thing. But
it's just weird because Martin's metaphors are usually a little more heavy-handed, like the wall and winter is coming and women being in power and stuff. Like it's usually a little more obvious than it is like subtle and underimplied.
Then what? What is
like any of the maester stuff? Like if they are behind like the dragons, or if they were like maybe slowly killing the king.
I mean, like they always have that idea of like, you know, I mean, it's the scholarly academia control of
nuclear warheads, basically, to use your metaphor.
Just
the dragons.
Yeah, I guess, but like it's more controlling the narrative in their side than it is controlling. They're more like the media. Martin always has mixtures of things. Like he always has like they always are. People are always kind of reminiscent of like at least two different cultures. So they always kind of seem like a thing, but like aren't. So like a good example is like the Dothraki, where it's like they kind of seem like Native American, but they also seem kind of like Saudi Arabian or like something. They seem, you know, Eastern, like you know, like it seems like very different. So it's like usually the kind of a mixture of different variants. There's a number of other examples I can't think of off the top of my head. That's
fine. We don't really need to get into too much.
But yeah, but like they seem more like they seem a little bit more kind of like the church, the Maesters. They seem like more like that, but like mixed with like scholarly, like media narrative, right? So they're like doctors, so they kind of like control that area of things, whereas like, you know, they're that side of like the official kind of like record.
Okay,
you know, they're more of that. But either way, so there's a new maester. So he lost his arm. So
yeah, he lost his arm. It's completely gone.
and he's like completely like, oh, he, you know, like pure Viserys, he's just like, oh, great, he looks just like you.
Yeah.
He's
I
just
think he's got his father's
willfully
nose.
ignorant, just like completely off. So that's I think a pretty good opening scene to jump into, and then obviously the stuff with Daemon. But then I think the obvious big thing here is the end of that story, which is just that we have the same situation that Viserys faced in the other pilot, except now it's his wife that's going to die.
Yep.
And before he can make it, and
She makes
apparently like this is a slight remix of the book where apparently at the end, she died in childbirth, but like she had been crawling out to her dragon saying like, let me ride my dragon, let me do my dragon, implying that like she, if she could get on her dragon, it would give her strength somehow.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the implication. This one more being a like noble sacrifice, kind of like I go out like a dragon rider. And I think that like the other, so I think that's the big question of like whether I think that the way it was portrayed in the book is kind of like she goes out there and dies, asking for a dragon. And you can look at that to say, like, well, hell, no one helped her to get on that dragon, which she was asking for, and maybe it would have helped her, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other way is to look at it as, like, she kind of, like, sadly, desperately, like, went out there and, like, kind of just died. And it's kind of, like, how pathetic. So it's, like, I don't think that's a great death, again, in childbirth. Like, I think in that case, it's this is the only way to do it, where it's like at least it's her choice, and they kind of don't have to go through we get the point. Daemon and Viserys went through the same thing.
Yep.
That ends generally the same.
Dead
the same
mom.
as dead both of them, right?
Yeah, they're dead. She's dead.
The baby's dead.
The baby's dead.
So
Now, the original ending of this episode with Daemon and his two daughters, it was supposed to be him hugging them on the ledge looking out over the mom's corpse.
Is it?
Yep, and that photo got put out by the House of Dragons Twitter, but they changed it to him just walking away.
Yeah.
I think him hugging them would have added some dimension to his fucking character.
Well, I wonder why they chose it.
I wonder as well.
Do they want to just... Because I think that... you're saying that they originally wanted... What do you mean?
That was the original ending. I was
know
also the Game of Thrones wiki. They had like sources and shit. I trust them.
What do you mean? So, is there any implication as to why they like they test audience or something, or
there's no other further explanation at this time. But I can put the photo.
Well, it seems like if they're changing it, then they want it to. They didn't want to. They wanted to show a moment there because it is kind of like crazy where he's got like nothing and he just walks the fuck away. But I think that's I think they wanted to tell the story, which I thought was kind of unwritten under there the whole time, that like he was generally committed but not at all like into that marriage and arrangement. Like he was fine doing what they were doing, but like he did and he knew that she would not do another thing. And she even said at the beginning, like I feel like people didn't talk enough about how much of a dick that he is to her, and people were kind of so impressed with his kind of gentlemanly attitude and calm demeanor. And I'm just like, he's calm, but like completely dismissive of her.
Yeah.
Like she says, like, I want to go back to Dragonstone so my baby can give birth in Dragon, like back home, like I was. Like,
yep.
And then the next scene is just her giving birth in Essos.
Yeah,
like,
Daemon like hugs her and like kisses her belly, and then just goes back to reading without saying a word.
Like, yeah, he's just like, okay.
Yep.
All right, I heard you.
And then like looks up like, why are you
like,
still
I
here?
heard you. I didn't slap you. Like,
there's the photo for you.
Yeah.
It's also the sun looks like it's rising as opposed to like a darker scene, which is what they ended up going with.
Yeah.
Probably just for the imagery or something. But
yeah, I mean, it's true. Like he's just that.
He's
cold.
just dismissive and cold. Yeah.
He never really wanted any of that. He was taking it like a consolation prize.
Do you think he's gonna go after fucking Laenor now and try to see if he can?
I think
get with Rhaenyra.
where Like,
if he can get with
I
Rhaenyra
think
and
he
produce a
I
legitimate
think he
heir.
just wants Rhaenyra. He just wants Rhaenyra, and that means going through him. Now, I don't know how they play that because, he's obviously kind of old war buddies with the dad now, right?
Mm-hmm. They took the Stepstones
They're
together.
seemingly
The Stepstones,
bros,
which are now
right?
under siege by a new giant
And
who dyes his
so
beard
that
blue
whole
purple.
family and Rhaenyra is. That's where they're at,
Yep.
right? That
Yep.
she's under that. Meanwhile, the Hightowers, Citadel, they're the only ones at King Landing. They're the only ones.
Yep.
Right.
The Hightowers.
So Viserys, all them. So we're assuming at some point Viserys, he's done, right?
He's
at
gotta
some
kick it
point
before the end of the
Viserys is
season.
done, right? I mean, and this close to with Larys this close to him, I assume he's gonna die very soon.
Dude, Larys
fucking
is
scary as
the
fuck.
weirdest, scariest character. He's like they took the best bits of Littlefinger and the bald eunuch guy whose name I can't remember. Varys, Varys and.
You mean they made Littlefinger and Varys Larys?
It's a little more obvious in hindsight, but is it? I don't know if they did that on purpose or if it was just in the book.
Here we are.
Who knows? George R. R. Martin's
I don't
weird.
think he's quite that. Maybe a little bit. He's obviously the fake, not a fake, but like a using their deformity or mutilation as a way into
a facade almost.
a facade to ease people's
Mhm.
concern over you. Both of them use that to advantage, but Littlefinger does as well, but kind of in a he's just so blatant, like it's the more blatant vicious lie attitude about it that has more of the Littlefinger edge. But yeah, fucking A, he's a kinslayer now. Like he's implicated the queen. He just made a big power move. I mean,
Absolutely.
come on. He got Harrenhal. He in one fell swoop. He's just like, yeah, did it. How could I not say how could I say no to my queen?
Yep.
Like, no shit. Okay.
I didn't want this, and he was like, "Yes, you did. You said you wished them gone, and I made them gone."
I thought I had just enough. I totally liked Breakbones and the dad, and they were all good, and I was like, okay,
Harwin and
they were.
Yeah, Harwin was awesome.
They were cool.
Yeah.
I liked them, and they had to die.
They had to die.
And
It's
this is
Game of
what I
Thrones.
mean. Like, you're just gonna get rid of more and more. Like, I don't think I can't either Laner or this dude that he brought with him are like toast.
Carl. Carl with a Q.
Carl's fucking toast.
Carl is so
Is it Carl with a
toast.
Q?
Q-A-R-L. Carl.
Wow.
Yep.
He is. He's toast with a Q.
I'll give you a little room shot. Yeah, that's fucking Carl is definitely not long for this world. Viserys is not long for this world. I don't know what the fuck Larys' endgame is at all.
So I think I was very wrong. I don't think.
What?
I don't think Kristen Cole is. I think he is long for this world.
Oh yeah, you did say Kristen Cole was gonna be not long for this world at the end of the last episode.
I thought he was gonna be dead by Daemon's hands, but he seems a little too connected at this point.
I mean, in the little preview we got, we did see
He's training the I mean, he's literally training the boys in this. He's
Aegon.
completely in line. To be their hand.
Or at least like
or
their
Lord Commander.
Lord Commander or
is he
Protector.
already Lord Commander?
I don't think so. I think he's just part of the Kingsguard.
Okay,
but
he's fucking right.
Because
in line.
the old guy, Lord, what's his name, Torwin?
That dude's still alive.
Yeah, he's still the commander of the Kingsguard. But when he kicks it, because he's also ancient like Viserys, I mean, Kristen Cole is lining up to take that spot pretty well, unless he tries to refuse it for honor or some shit. But I mean, I don't think he cares anymore at this point. I think it's just about whatever he can do to score on Rhaenyra. Man, this show is wrapping me up in its webs.
Yeah, it's the extension of these characters, the kind of slow burn, and then I thought to myself, okay, so they didn't really tell. So like basically where we start, the story here is more so kind of where the book is. This is kind of a backstory to it, what we've seen thus far. Like, we saw a little bit of that stuff.
Are you sure? I thought the book opened with him naming Rhaenyra his heir.
Yeah, but like the depth of kind of what we got here is very different. Like the High Terrace, like all the Alice stuff. Like
we got 5 episodes of deep dive, whereas the book was like
you have
4
to
chapters.
Imagine that Alicent's like role is very limited in terms of like it's so we're more just seeing what we saw here.
Yeah.
Than we did anything else. So imagine her story here without the backstory as much, the friendship.
It wouldn't
kind of
work,
thing.
honestly.
Well,
that development is just perfect.
I just think that like they've done a masterful job of because people I think buy right into it that like, oh, Rhaenyra's cool. Yeah. I'm like, dude, she's the same as she always is. Like
she's been a spoiled brat for 10 years.
There is a reason that she's hereditary with Daemon. They are the fucking same. Like, they're just fucking dangerous raw ones they want to give into each other. And that's it. Like, I'm here for it. I kind of want to see it.
Yep. Now, here's something for you that struck me. I was watching the behind-the-scenes bit after the episode. Yeah. It's my fiance's favorite part. They directly called Larry a villain, a main villain of the show. And I don't remember them ever calling anyone a villain in Game of Thrones before. They've always been more open to interpretation. They've said, like, this person is at odds with this person.
There's definitely some... They've also said, like, I mean, Joffrey is pretty much... Like, there's a couple... They
definitely frame people as villains, but I don't think they've ever outright called somebody a villain before.
Yeah, sure they have.
Have they? Maybe. I mean, it's years ago. My memory could be foggy, but it struck me. I was like, wow. Usually they don't straight up call people...
Art thou a villain?
They usually just don't use the big V word like that. They usually just
don't
say,
use the V. Yeah. What is this? The Troy Show?
I'll tell them you said that. I'm sure they'll love it.
They will.
I'm sure. What was your favorite part, D?
Well,
a lot happened.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Okay, so maybe meeting the new heir under like the Queen's firstborn.
Oh yeah, Aegon.
Just
jacking off in the window.
Smash cut from her conversation with Kristen Cole, where he uses the C word.
Yeah.
And he then apologizes. She says, listen, Sir Kristen, I just have to believe that decency will prevail. And smash cut to her son jerking off over King's Landing.
From the same window that Tomlin killed himself out of.
Yep. So I think it's a great little smash cut.
Yep.
This kid, he's like, I don't want to be king. I don't want this. I don't care. She's like, you idiot.
You need to be king.
You are the threat.
It's like
by living and breathing.
It seems like he doesn't give a shit about being king.
No, and it's gonna be, but he's also being groomed to hate these other guys, and like it's gonna be like, how hard is it gonna be to turn this guy?
Oh, it's gonna be real easy to turn him into a dickhead.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to be like a full dick right now. It's just he's still a dick and just pliable.
Yeah, he's like what, 15?
Yeah,
13.
He's a complete douche.
10-year jump after his second or third birthday.
That's David Tennant's
David Tennant's stepson, yeah.
Stepson, okay.
Yeah.
He looks like Mike from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But
little
blonde.
Little bit.
I was like, oh man, I want to punch this kid.
He's the grandson of Peter Davison, who played the 5th Doctor in Doctor Who, and he's David Tennant's stepson, who played the 10th Doctor. Funny enough.
Yeah, this guy is gonna be. It's people like this that lead to like the worst situations where they're just like, oops, okay, and then just like, I'm gonna stab you in the eye, like at the worst point, like, sorry, and like, oops, did I win? Like, it's gonna be like that type of shit where you're like, I hate you so much.
Yep.
Just like opportunistic, cowardly. It's just that's when a coward wins, it's so disheartening
Yeah.
because not because of the cowardliness, but because of the follow-up justification, like the praising of like there are situations where you have to be conniving, you have to play your best hand,
Yeah.
use guerrilla tactics. But I think there's a way to do that with some kind of honor, but but maybe not. That's the issue, right? Is that like no matter how badly you do it, someone will say like, "Well, what was he supposed to do?" Right? Like, and you're like, yeah. And that's the disheartening part. The part where you're like, yeah. If I can justify it for me, then I can justify it for this douchebag. So like, that's the really hard part. Not because like it's just like technically they didn't do anything wrong in your own internal logic when you really boil it down. That's like what you would do in these situations or all that. So, he's the type of guy that I know is like somebody's gonna like save, like get behind me, and then he's gonna be like, oh, if I stab you, I win. Like, yes, except fuck.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of shit, and I just see that happening. Not that I know anything on that end, but I just see like he's the type of asshole, and they're just gonna. I feel like they're clearly the ones who are going to be in power. They're the high tower.
They are the children are definitely getting set up to be.
They're set and be up to be the ones in power, meaning that the everyone else is the underdog. Meanwhile, technically, you're like, well, she's the heir to the throne. She's the technical one. So she has the king's justice, right? She has the king's word, the king's like, and all these leads. So technically, it's her, right?
Yep.
Now, also technically, she's got bastards. Everybody fucking knows it.
Yep. So that kind of like muddies her claim to the throne because it's like, well, you don't have a line of succession.
Well, yet. Plenty of kings.
Soon as Daemon gets
plenty
involved.
of kings have had bastards.
Yo, yeah.
She has not, and nor does she have any paramour that was suspected. She no longer has.
Yeah, he's toast. Literally, he's jerky.
Mm-hmm. Toast jerky.
As soon as he was saying goodbye to the kids and Rhaenyra, and she was like, "We'll write by Raven and stuff," I was like, "Oh no, you won't. He's fucking dead. There's no way he's making it to Harrenhal." But he did make it to Harrenhal, and then he got burned alive. So I was a little bit wrong, but not terribly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely knew he was fucking dying.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure of it. I just kind of wrote them off in general because I figured like they're just high tower in an hour here.
Yeah. Do you think Otto's going to come back and save the day and resume his role as hand?
I think that seems to be the implication. I mean, who else does he go to? Lannister. Like, I mean, everybody else is like I looked around. I was like, oh fuck, who the fuck? Oh fuck. Like, look around and there's nobody.
Yeah. There's that Lannister guy, and then I guess who
has integrity that you've seen?
Nobody.
Well, I mean, like the sea guy with the wooden throne guy.
Corlys?
Corlys, yeah. Corlys is like would be good. He's a good guy to have your
I guess so. I don't know that he would ask him.
Exactly, but I'm saying like these are people that like at the very least used to be in your fucking corner and should be his son. So, I don't.
Who does Viserys even have on his side anymore?
Well, Viserys, like it doesn't almost matter. Like I don't. He's got to be over with Rhaenyra, right? They got to be coming back here, but like
Viserys,
right?
The king?
No, Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My comment was, who is the king's allies anymore?
Right. I mean, yeah, I don't think there's anybody else that they can call.
I think people are still going to, like, pretend to be, but, like, everyone's already secretly picked a side, I'm sure.
Larys to be on the throne, up to be the hand of the king next.
Dude, don't even.
Who's he going to pick?
But, like, that could be the thing he wants. He said, I have no doubt you'll reward me for this. And it's like, well,
He's
shit.
the fucking Hand of the King.
Maybe he'll become Hand of the King, and he'll start doing some scheming, conniving
He
shit.
asks a Lannister, or he asks, like, I mean, who the fuck? I want to find out who the Hand of the King is. What's the line of succession there?
Yeah, what's the line of succession for hands?
That's the worst.
Dude, that's, oh my goodness gracious. And that sucked because Lord Strong was a great Hand of the King. He genuinely was
Kinslade.
impartial.
Kinslade.
Ugh. Jeez,
Until
Louise.
he couldn't be. Until
Yeah.
he's like, can't say, gotta go.
I can't say to your face that your daughter's clearly having an affair with the commander of the City Watch because such an accusation would bring death and dishonor among all of us. So I'm just going to hold my tongue and leave. And that's that. Oh, God, it was so fucking weird. I don't know where we're going in the next episode, but I am curious to see if, like, King Viserys loses more parts of his body. He just starts, like, his whole shoulder's gone or something. I don't even know.
Guy.
He's falling apart, quite literally.
I can't imagine his lower appendages are working like they anyway.
Oh,
I
absolutely
think-
not. There's no way.
I think that's fun.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't give Alicent something while they were making those 3 kids.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude. Oh, but like, did you see how her fucking kids are all weird?
Oh, yeah, they're all fucking weird. And she's teaching the daughter to, like, identify this, like, millipede something or other.
Yeah.
And
She's
it's
all
like,
into
what?
bugs. She's got all these bugs around.
And Aegon likes jacking off in open windows and terrorizing his little brother because his brother doesn't have a dragon. And he's like, we got you a dragon, and it's a pig with horns on. And then he immediately throws his nephews under the bus, Rhaenyra's kids. He's like, no, it was their idea. Fuck them kids.
Yeah, and those kids are just like, am I a bastard?
Yeah. Is he my father? And Rhaenyra is just like,
no doubt.
well, she didn't say no. She was just like,
She's like, you're a Targaryen. That's all that matters.
yeah, you're a Targaryen. Like, sure, yep. You didn't assuage his fears at all. He knows he's a bastard. He's probably going to, like, shout it loudly at some manner of speaking. I'm so excited for the next episode because we see Alicent pull, like, a knife on Rhaenyra. And she says, now everyone sees you for who you really are. And it kind of cut there. And I was like, oh, shit. How does that play out? And if that's episode 7, we've got more to go.
I'm wondering, yeah. So, I think I'm ready. I'm ready to give this a grade.
I think I am too.
So we're looking at 4, 5, and 6, right?
Yep.
So I think we missed 4, right? Did we miss the episode 4?
I don't think so.
I think we did.
Oh, yeah, we did miss 4 because I was out of town, and then it
Yeah,
was
the whole
already another episode, and
So
we skipped 4.
So I think 4. Which one is 4? 4 is Is that where the Crab King dies? Crab Theater.
I don't think so.
I think that was 3. So
No, yeah. So, King of the Narrow Sea, episode 4. So
okay, so that's the one where he blasts him and does the whole I kill all that.
I
Right?
believe so. Yeah.
Or is that the one where he comes back?
Damon came back, and they were having like, that little
that's
get
what it is,
together,
that's what it
and
is. Okay, so he comes back, and this is one where he shows. This is one where they Daenerys and or not Daenerys, Rhaenyra and Kristen Cole have their tryst because she's all worked, hot bothered from Damon. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think is a pretty cool episode. I think it's in the realm of like, okay, it was like heating up. It was pretty neat, like, to do the whole thing. I think there were some other parts that I'm forgetting about it that I really appreciated. But I think it was probably like a solid like B plus, like that one. 5 was like a really solid episode. Like, there were so many things that I thought were amazing in that. So I give that one like a solid A, this one a solid A. So I think in the end I'm giving this an A, like a solid A minus.
Mm-hmm.
Like a solid A minus. Like, I'm like, okay, like this next episode could be amazing. Like they have 10 episodes, right?
I think so.
So
I can
I'm
double
like,
check that for you.
so I'm thinking here, like, you know, the old Game of Thrones formula was episode 9 is crazy, right?
Yeah, 9 is usually
So-
like the big one.
So I'm wondering if they're gonna change that up a little bit or do something else. So
Yeah, actually,
looking forward.
the titles have been released already. If you'd like them.
oh, no way.
So episode 7 is going to be called Driftmark, which
Okay.
is the homeland of Corlys and all those people.
Of
8
course.
8 is the Lord of the Tides. 9 is the Green Council, and 10 is the Black Queen. Interesting. Yes. So in the book they really hammer this home with the color scheming of Rhaenyra being like the Black Princess and Alicent being the Green Queen, because green for Hightower and the Targaryens are black and red, fire and blood. And so the black versus green is kind of very heavy in the books. So 9 being the Green Council and 10 being the Black Queen is a little bit of hints, I guess, at what's to come. But I have zero doubts in my mind that Rhaenyra is not on the throne by the end of season 1. There's no way she's queen. I think the Black Queen is definitely either like almost a sarcastic title, or like poking fun at something, or she's like Queen of Dragonstone and she's finally launched a rebellion against Alicent. There's no way she's on the throne proper by the end of this season, if ever. I don't think that's gonna happen.
So here's my thing. If this season pays off, right, and I think it really should. I think it's earned.
I think it will. I don't see this series.
It was already
renewed.
Right.
I don't see the series being very long, though.
No, here's the thing. I want you to imagine this, and I want you to imagine how cool it could be. So you're
I'm
back.
half erect.
You're
Keep
back,
going.
Yeah, you go back to this era, right? You do House of the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you do these anthology series of different eras of the House of the Dragon, right? So maybe you start here. Maybe you go forward next, right? Maybe you continue this. You follow this up with the Blackfire rebellions, right? That's
okay.
Like in between, right? Maybe for a third season though, you jump back and you do
Aegon the Conqueror,
right? And then for like a fourth season, you come over and you do like the penny. There's like the 9 penny kings or something like that. This like rebellion like thing that happens, and then so there's a couple like big like
there's
events
other wars
that you
can
can kind of
covered.
look at. But then what you do is then you just end Robert's Rebellion, the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Hasn't that show on its own already been greenlit?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so though. But okay, so let's say whatever. But then you end with that, and you then just read the next season is Game of Thrones season 1, season 2, season 3, and you redo it. You do it again. That's how you get. It's kind of continuous.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of it's been by then it'll be long enough that you could just be like, okay, and now we're doing this. Like, I think it could work. You think like seasons go on for like how long? You just change it over to Game of Thrones at that point.
Okay. Officially, wait.
You're full of shit.
Robert's Rebellion, officially stylized as Game of Thrones - Robert's Rebellion, is an American epic fantasy TV series that is currently set to air on HBO. 17 years before the events of the main series, and it's got the same showrunner, Brian Cogman, as this one.
Where are you getting this?
Total of 3 seasons are planned, with each season to contain 10 episodes each.
When was this posted?
This is the Game of Thrones wiki, but here's an article from August 2022 saying Robert's Rebellion was greenlit at HBO. It is in production. So.
Well, then scrap all that then.
I mean, you can still end with Robert's Rebellion, and then it'll go right into the next show. And this should just be like show into show.
You could just kind of.
I mean, for as big as Game of Thrones was and how it took the world by storm for so long, I'm amazed HBO has not milked this cow further than they have. I mean,
well, it's hard.
I
They
guess
need to give it some room.
I guess so, but
People want to say it. I've still like followed like a bunch of like pods that like do stuff on it, and like
I mean,
I love it.
I'm
It's great.
I'm still
also-
subscribed to certain subreddits and stuff and getting information, so I get it.
But my favorite one is this one right here.
Yeah, this one. And if you
Um,
liked us, leave us a fun
yeah.
review
Do that.
on your favorite podcasting platform.
did you want to give it a letter grade? You
Did I not?
Did
I
you?
thought I did.
I thought you were not. Did you give it
I'm an A minus. I'm right with you.
You're right there with.
I would be an A without the minus if I didn't have so much anxiety about them fucking it up. I realize that's completely on me, but the show is doing a really good job at sucking me back into Westeros and making me care about a bunch of people with hard to pronounce names. So,
And is there
I'm
anything more you want?
No. I'm just really excited for the next episode, man. I'm in that phase.
Put your pants back on.
I'm sorry. Let me just.
Wow, you're full on erect.
Man, I know it's hard to
You have
see.
a full on erection.
But no, I've hit that stage of a TV show where I'm finally in, and I just want to finish it. You know, like because with my ADHD, I just hyperfixate on shit. I don't need to explain ADHD to you, but to anyone listening, like I just hyperfixate on shit. And as soon as I'm in, I'm fucking in, and it's all I can do or think about or consume until it's over. And then I still obsessively think about it until the next shiny thing comes along. But
shiny.
so shiny. I'm super excited to see how the rest of the show goes. I hope they don't shit the bed. Brian Cogman, I believe his name is. He seems to be doing a great job as showrunner. And, as long as the showrunner keeps his shit together and has his head on straight and doesn't listen to HBO and does what he wants to do, then we're going to be fine.
We'll find out.
We will find out. Also, HBO has changed hands since Game of Thrones.
Well, they
Because
say
AT&T bought them since
the
then.
king shits, the hand wipes.
They do say that. But the AT&T has bought HBO from the original owners, I believe Time Warner.
So, Jeffrey, I'm going to take things that no one cares about for $7,000.
All right. Well, you win. Congratulations.
I got it. I got everything. Yay. Me.
If you liked us, leave us a review, 5 stars, and like and subscribe and comment and click the links in the diddly-do, and that's that. And don't text and drive.
The TB&J podcast. Text, drive, and subscribe.